let's bring in Jim Nantz, the Hall of Famer. He was on the call with the Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills. How exhausted are you normally after a game, and how did you feel after that game?
I'm still tired.
Yeah.
I'm mentally still inside of Arrowhead. I heard your poll question. There's nothing like a game that's just pulsating, standing throughout, building shaking like Arrowhead. SoFi is the coolest stadium, but Arrowhead, when it's a night like that, pretty hard to beat. But I am still having a hard time letting go of that incredible feeling, and a loop in my mind just kind of replaying the game over and over again. So yeah, I'm still tired. You can hear it. I had an obligation yesterday in New York, which it was an all-day shoot, so I still didn't quite have my Monday recovery day, and today is just that. So here we are.
Aside from, what play stands out the most? What moment stands out the most from the Bills and Chiefs that 5 years from now I'll bring up to you?
I think the 4th and 13, which, don't forget, before the play, there was a fan who ran out onto the field and kind of maybe changed a little karma in the building or whatever, and Diggs decked him. It was one of the great tackles I've ever seen, by the way. So I think the 4th and 13, then the 64-yard throw to Hill. But ultimately, to me, the game came down to that kickoff with 13 seconds to go in regulation. That's the one that I think changed everything. And I got into a little back and forth with Tony. I posed a question. You put it on the ground here, just trying to reduce it to a one-play scenario to get yourself into field goal range if you're the Chiefs. And they decided to kick it to the back of the end zone, which gave them 2 snaps.
It was a great moment. You guys had a great moment at the end of the Cowboys game. I mean, that's what you want. In the moment when you say to Tony, what would you do? We want to know what you would do. We don't want you hedging. And I just thought that was great TV. It was a great moment.
We walked out of the booth that night, and you always think you're better when the game is better. And that, again, is going to be viewed by some as the greatest game of all time. And it goes to that length in some of the feedback we've heard about the game. But we really felt after 5 years and 105 games, we walked out and said, that was our best broadcast we've ever had. And we were just so excited about it. And Tony, in those moments, and his enthusiasm and his ability to break down the strategy, I mean, I just love the guy, and he's just an awesome guy to share it with.
Can you always hear him over the crowd? You ever had a problem trying to hear him?
No, not at all, because we have what you have on right now. We have the headsets on, so it pumps it pretty much right into your eardrum, and I have him, of course, souped up a little bit and can hear him very clearly. But yeah, it is so loud in there, though. If I took the headset off and I tried to have a conversation with him, we couldn't hear one another.
Where do you stand on overtime in the postseason?
I think we're going to differ on this, but I think when you get to the postseason, it needs to be tweaked. And I know after the game, probably the Chiefs Nation was upset with us for broaching the fact that the Bills, in my words, never had a chance, meaning they never had a chance to go and match it. To me, I think they finally got the regular season down correctly. And I advocated for a long time that they needed to get to something like that. But when you've gone through a whole season, you go back to July and you go back to camp, and all the different plays and scenarios you go through to try to get to a Super Bowl. And it comes down to the team that's going to win the coin flips, going to have odds that are definitely better than the team that's going to kick the football. As Peter King said so well in his Football Morning in America, Peter said, okay, fan base, if you really think that you're going to just throw out the old tired, go make a play on defense, then why don't you guys kick the football then? Why don't you guys go ahead and defer? Would you be happy with your coach if they deferred? So I want to say this, and we were rushing to get off the air, but I think we got our point across. We were there for New England and Kansas City 3 years ago. And I, at that time, advocated that it was wrong what happened to the Chiefs in that situation. And interestingly, we were all reminded yesterday that Kansas City, after that game, went to the March meetings and tried to change the rule. Yeah. And it did not have enough momentum to even go to a vote. So I just think with the whole season on the line, give each team. It's a small tweak, actually. Everybody's like, well, how are we going to do this? We don't like the college playoff or the college overtime. I think it's just every team's guaranteed a possession, one possession. So if that was this year, you kick the football to the Bills. They know what they have to do. They've got to go down the field and match it. By the way, if they want to go for two because they don't think their defense can hold up, then go for two and maybe win the game on what's like a college play, if you will, from the three. Or you lose the game from there. Or you kick it and say, maybe my defense gotten enough rest now because we took 15 plays to get down the field, and maybe they're not gassed and they can play. But I think you get to overtime postseason, one possession guaranteed each.
Yeah, I'm fine with it, but, we grew up, it was called sudden death overtime. It's like it used to be called instant replay. Now it's called replay. Now it's not sudden death overtime. Everybody gets a possession, whatever you do on that, and then after that, it's sudden death overtime. You okay with that?
I am. Things have changed. There have been rule changes in the game. So the game that we grew up watching, it's not the same. I mean, it's been tweaked again to try to make the game more exciting. Offense getting a little bit better of an edge and all this. These games are more high scoring than they were when we grew up as kids. So, yeah, I'm okay with it. Again, it comes down to a whole season. And I'm not taking anything away from Kansas City. Again, I pitched for them 3 years ago. It was awesome what they did. But you think Josh Allen never really got a chance to go down the field and do the same thing? Because he probably would have taken them down the field and scored. I mean, how about the last 2 minutes of regulation? 25 points. Then another touchdown in the OT. I mean, I'm still, like I said, still playing it on a loop in my head.
And the NFL is in the entertainment business, and what would have been more entertaining than Josh Allen getting another opportunity? And, you still have commercial inventory. I mean, come on. This is a business here that we're running. And I think you got to factor that in as well. That's why I'm like, you have this audience. Now, all of a sudden, we let Josh Allen come out and come back down and maybe more commercial breaks. Let's go. Get a couple more commercials in there.
Well, listen, no, the reality is you have a set number of commercials. You know this going in. And once you've gone through your commercials, it's not like your salespeople are out selling. You're in the middle of the game. Oh, let me pick up the phone. Let me call XYZ to see if they want to buy a spot in extended play. So, no, you get your inventory and it stays at that thing. But you said the NFL is in the money-making business. I've got the last bastion of profit for them, to me, is not those commercials that you can't sell because you've already maxed out your inventory. Somebody, I can't believe no one's come up with this before. Someone needs to sponsor the blue tent. It's unclaimed. It's unclaimed territory. I can't believe it's gone this long. It's sitting there. And how many times in a game do you see pull up the blue tent? There should be some sort of sponsored element across that.
I got it, Jim.
Yeah.
Viagra. The blue pill. The blue.
I got it. I was thinking, I knew you were going blue. I think it's got to be. You're not talking anything about how it suddenly just expands.
No.
Okay.
No,
just want to make sure.
Okay. Hello, friends.
Hello, friends. Let's go down to the Viagra blue tent. Okay. No, the thing is, it's got to be, I think, in the healthcare industry.
Yeah. Blue Cross Blue Shield. Blue Cross Blue Shield.
That's what it is. I mean, listen, they're a Detroit-based company. It'd be perfect for them. The Blue Cross Blue Shield Blue Tent. Okay, but it's just sitting there, unclaimed.
I know.
Come on, we need more money.
Jim is calling the what do you have? You have Tony with the Bengals and the Chiefs, right? At 3 Eastern on CBS? Okay.
Yeah, the old AFC Championship game back at Arrowhead.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Where's the Bills-Chiefs game rank, though, of all of the games, whether you watched or you called?
I think because of the last 2 minutes. I'm going to keep it to this sport. I haven't seen a better game. I had that New England-Kansas City game I mentioned before on that short list. I had Indianapolis and New England in the 06 championship game when Peyton brought them back from 18 down and won 38-34. I would say those 3 games were the best NFL games I've ever seen.
Here we are at the end of January. We're a couple of months away from Augusta. And I know people have brought up Tiger, could he play at Augusta? And what people don't understand is how hilly Augusta is. Like, it's not a flat, it's one of the hillier courses that you'll probably play on tour. I don't know if Tiger could be able to do 4 days of that, but do you have any indication if Tiger is going to be able to try to play at Augusta?
The only thing I hear is from the people that are closest to him that have a voice in the game. A few folks that are on the desk, for example, at Golf Channel, and they all have completely killed the idea that he's going to be ready for Augusta. I mean, I would love to see it. It's kind of been quiet here for a while since the father-son, which was an amazing thing to see. Not just because we saw him swinging a golf club again, but because again you saw his son hitting shots that were just remarkable with a way about him that's just like his dad, his mannerisms. So, look, it's getting close. You're right, though. I want to emphasize your point. To think that he could walk that 4 straight days, you know, he might be able to play it, but what's he going to feel like on Friday? And if he makes the cut, you know, now you got 2 more days on Sunday. Can he really? Yeah, the elevation there is something. If you haven't been there, you almost can't emphasize enough. Everybody that sees it the first time says, "Man, I had no idea." Like walking up 18 it's a great climb. I don't want to make it sound like these golfers aren't athletes, but when you're coming off of what he's coming off of, and to walk up and down and hit side hill shots and things like that, it's a lot to ask.
How's your golf game, by the way?
I haven't played in a long time, but I'm getting ready to talk about it. We're getting ready, not my game. I'm ready to talk about golf. This weekend, I'm going to have the unique double dip, maybe triple dip, because of the elongated season of the NFL going 18 weeks. The NFL now stepped right into the weekend that used to belong exclusively with no football coverage to the Farmers Insurance Open at Torrey Pines in beautiful San Diego. It happens to mark our season premiere of golf is this weekend. So the tour, Jay Monahan, along with Sean McManus, came up with a great plan. It's going to be a Saturday night finish back east in prime time. And CBS, instead of being a Saturday, Sunday daytime, will be Friday and Saturday early evening / prime time on the network. So I'm going to call the golf from Arrowhead Stadium on Friday night and Saturday night, and then the championship game on Sunday. A tradition, a new tradition, unlike any other. Okay.
You got young kids. Brady's going through this now. His kids are a little bit older. How long do you continue? Like what kind of pulls you home?
You know, I love every minute of it. And I just came to an agreement not quite a year ago, to keep doing this for a long, long time. I love it. And you're right. It's hard walking out the door and, you know, missing kids' games and things like that. We made a little tweak. You know how much I love my home in Pebble Beach, which I'm never selling. And you've been a guest at my home on several occasions. But we bought another home to be more centrally located and get me a little bit back to my Southern roots. I'm from Charlotte originally. So we moved to Nashville for the majority of the year, starting in August, with the great bulk of my obligations in the Eastern time zone. This is the perfectly centrally located place that I could find. I'm an hour and 10-minute flight to Kansas City. Awesome. You know, and I think 25 of the NFL teams are a 2-hour flight or less. When you're flying out of Monterey every week, it's grueling. It was, you know, somebody did a little study on my schedule last year, and I think I'm going to be close to 300 fewer air miles a year. And I did it because it's time. The greatest currency of all is time. And that time, what you want is it with your family. So I'm leaving later. I'm getting home earlier, and it's definitely been great to help extend the career.
So 300,000 miles?
No, I'm not talking miles and free tickets. I'm talking hours.
300.
Hours. 300 fewer hours in the air.
Ouch.
And on top of it, when I would fly most of the time out of SFO, San Francisco, it's 110 miles from my house out in California. So now I'm not even factoring in the 4 hours a week that I had drive time just to get to the airport and back. So it was tough. You know, like we had Tampa 3 times at home this year. Getting to Tampa from Monterey was never easy. Yeah. From here, it's an hour flight, maybe an hour and 5-minute flight. It's easy. Yeah, it's been a great benefit for me and my family time. But again, we're going to strategically slot Pebble in there when like the West Coast golf swing is coming up. I will base out of there. And in the summer, in June and July, I'll be back at our home in California.
Could you see Brady retiring right now?
It just seems like it's gained so much steam, doesn't it? And since about a week ago at this time, it just it was something that really all season long, it was a little bit of behind the scenes undercurrent, but now it's just I think by Sunday it had so much talk. I'm not sure it's not Tom's fault, but I'm not sure it didn't create a little flat environment and attitude for the overall team of the Bucks. It was swirling in the wind so much. It became so much of the focus of the story. I'm not sure it contributed to them getting behind so big early, but I would like to see, he says he's not going to do it, and it's not his style, he says, but I would like to know when he's playing for the last time. Like, I'm not ready for a March 7th retirement announcement. Like, I want to look down on the field and watch him play and know that this is the last season, potentially the last game. I'm hoping for one more.
Tony, I've just been practicing it.
Let's go, Jim. Here we go. Tony. How about my boy Frank? I know Caliendo had to have been sitting back and had enough of those scenarios. In fact, I know he posted some because Tracy showed it to me, but Tracy Wolfson. But I love Frank Caliendo, and I've gotten to know him a little bit better in this last year. I can't wait to go. Does that sound about right?
I don't know. I'm not very good at that. Seton does Al Michaels. Have you heard his Al Michaels impersonation?
It's been a while. But
okay,
yes.
Here you go.
Let's hear it again.
Here you go.
And there he goes.
That's it. That
and there he goes.
Yeah.
I like it.
And Seton does Tony Romo.
Jim, there's only 10 men on the field, Jim.
That sounds about right.
Hey, congrats on the move there. I hope the family's great, and good to talk to you, buddy.
Always good to talk to you, Hall of Famer. You're a great friend.
Thanks, buddy. That's Jim Nantz. CBS will have the Bengals and the Chiefs kick off at 3 Eastern on CBS on Sunday. Jim doing double duty with also the PGA Tour.